parts. This week, we had the UFC 306 event happening in Vegas, same place. And this happened at the Sphere. And I tell you, fellas, it was an experience for the fans. For those that are going to listen to this auditory, you may miss this clip that I'm about to play, but boy, that Sphere is an experience as a fight fan or people in that vicinity outside the Sphere. So I was going to play a clip here and just to show that experience of the Sphere. Uh, Let me play it right now.
They know that guy's done a job. You got countless days of training when you don't want to. All the physical preparation.
All right, for fair play, I'm not going to let that play too long. I don't want us to get demonetized. But that's from Instagram. And what? This is what we're going to, this is, if my fans are going to experience that, this is what we've been waiting for.
Next level entertainment, man. Like, I seen an interview where Dana White was saying that the Sphere is the show. The Sphere is the show. And he was first introduced to it when he went and seen a YouTube concert, and he, at that moment he knew he wanted to be the first to pull something off there. And so this weekend, so he lost the he lost the arena where boxing took place, but he gained the opportunity to be the first to pull this off at the Sphere, and they continue to win as the more popular sport, UFC, just the business model, because we've seen the direct effects of boxing taking place and the main event taking place in advance of UFC's main event instead of going head to head. The last time that I remember Canelo went head to head with UFC was he was fighting Danny Jacobs, and that the boxing match was stalled until about midnight.
Right. Yeah.
So they, they coexisted in this weekend, and that just is what it is.
They shook some hands, and it was like, hey, let's get this money together, man. It's to even see a clip, other clips. I do remember them showing clips of that U2 concert that I think opened up the Sphere as well. And I love like the interactive stuff like that. That's the stuff that you think about when you're a kid. And I mentioned before the show about Tron, like the movie Tron, and having that glowy light show going on with this, and then there's a fight going on. But like you said, you're there for the Sphere itself, and I love that. I love that cool stuff, man.
All right, let's dive into UFC 306. The big main event is Sean O'Malley versus Dvalishvili Merab. I'm saying that right. But
good job.
Right.
Good job. I mean, O'Malley is a fan favorite, so
Sugar Sean is what I don't like calling him man Sugar Sean, but that's his name, Sugar Sean. Sugar Sean O'Malley, very popular in the UFC, very popular outside the UFC, very colorful, has a very popping podcast, an amazing Instagram troll. He's building a reputation that is, I don't know if Mickey Mouse likes it, if you know what I'm talking about.
Is he the Ryan Garcia of UFC?
He's growing. His legacy is building legs to that. As you know, ESPN owns the UFC or purchased the UFC or something like that. So if you representing Mickey Mouse, you better be on your best behavior. But to say this or to not say this or that, that's just my own personal views. UFC is a brand. O'Malley is a brand. Same way as Conor McGregor, he's a brand. So they sit down and break bread. So O'Malley fights. O'Malley gets paid a lot to fight. And O'Malley is currently the champ. And my guy for the bantamweight, Merab, I believe, is from Georgia or Russia. I have to do my fact checking. His best friend is a former bantamweight champion, and that's the guy from Jamaica. What's his name again? Jeez, I forgot his name, but he was the former champ. Anyways, long story short, this matchup is mixing oil and water. You're bringing Merab, who's a supreme wrestler, supreme grappler, a supreme takedown artist versus a striker. You know what's going to happen. It's like bringing a lion versus a crocodile. Just different features. Somebody will, bite you and pull you into the water and put you into their element, and you cannot do anything. But what does a lion do to a crocodile when a crocodile can survive on land? It's kind of tricky. Fighting a striker, like, so let's say you're a boxer, right? At least have some takedown defense. At least have some level of understanding how to clinch someone who's trying to throw you down. You have to have some defense mechanisms to keep you in your strongest stance, for lack of a better word, while fighting. But in this fight, it was total domination. O'Malley, known as an amazing striker. If you want to see some good UFC striking, boxing, that boy is nice. Sugar Shane is really nice. He's what is built for. But he was dominated, and as a champion, he went down bad. It was a unanimous. Sorry.
Is there like a CompuStat that keeps track of the style wins and losses? Because we had one of our early episodes, we talked about what style best translate to the UFC as far as the background. And I said wrestling because you can teach a wrestler to strike.
Right.
But I wonder if there's you got categories like Muay Thai versus wrestling, or striker versus whatever, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know what I'm saying? That would be interesting to see.
You know what's weird? The people that are put on that Mount Rushmore, a lot of them are strikers. Like, you look at Anderson Silva, he's a striker 100%. But he does have a level of understanding how to be on the ground and be comfortable on his back, or somebody, putting him in that position. Pause. And even the other greats, let's say John Jones, okay. He is traditionally a wrestler who his striking is really freaking good. Like, you can't just label Jones as a wrestler. Like,
junior college product, by the way.
Yeah. He's knocked out. Yeah, he's a JUCO wrestler. Yeah.
Anybody that been to JUCO is a different animal.
Yeah. So
he's
not really. I wouldn't call Bones Jones a wrestler, like, per se, because he has those elbows. He hits you with all sorts of stuff on a stand-up. And I think he's most suited for stand-up because he's so long and rangy that most of the people he's going to fight are not like 6'6" like him. And he comes from a different breed, man. He's NFL athletes in his family. He's like, it's genetics there that play a thing into his greatness. But George St. Pierre, striker, Kung Fu, I think karate, or I may be getting it wrong, but he's a striker. So there's something about striking that is because you start out fighting standing up. So that's the thing. Don't get taken down. Easy standing up. Israel Adesanya standing up. Necessarily, have I seen a great who's only known for being on the ground? Like, I don't see, because if I look at the greatest fighters, you have to look at all their skill set in its own category, right? Izzy has a very low score on the ground game because we never see him on the ground. So his greatest asset is preventing you from taking him down, so he can stay up and so he can knock you out. And that's the thing that is it's tricky to say that, okay, wrestlers are winning at this percentage, or jiu-jitsu at tapping out people because they are putting them in this, because you can submit somebody standing up. It's weird. It's weird, but I think striking is the main ingredient. Like, in the streets, you start fighting standing up.
And
it's the thing.
That comes from the Bruce Lee school of training. The Bruce Lee school of training. He was a big believer in boxing. I'm biased to boxing, obviously, but it does allow some transition to some of the other fundamentals in martial arts, just
Right.
because of the fundamentals you learn via boxing. So to hear you rattle off a lot of those guys is definitely interesting. You know, when you start stacking these guys up against each other.
So if you notice, most strikers don't even, if you're really supreme at striking, all you have to work on is your takedown defense, right? And you don't even have to have a black belt in jiu-jitsu to survive in mixed martial arts. But if you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you've never worked on your stand-up, you'll be like that dude that got kneed by Masvidal. First fight trying to tackle him. Remember? He charged at Masvidal and Masvidal hit him with the knee. Remember that guy?
Flying knee. I remember we was in your living room.
Yeah. Like, because he knows, that guy knows, my only way to fight you is I have to tackle you, to put you on the floor and put you in a situation. But how many times, how are you going to succeed if I'm ready for you to do that? I know you're only good at that. So my preparation is just to prevent you from tackling me, or from you taking me down. And then if you're standing up and you don't have any high guard, low guard, whatever, I could kick, because now it's not only just boxing. I could kick you into oblivion. So like it's crazy.
We saying all this. Strap, you saying all this, and it might be contradicted in about 2 tickers.
Right. Right. But yeah, but O'Malley got his chain taken. Old boy came and took his chain. It's doing a world tour in Europe right now. It's in Georgia. It's gonna stop by Kazakhstan. Is gonna stop. In respect to my O'Malley, I'm just playing. But your belt was taken. You didn't put a champion's effort into that fight, but respect. It's a tough sport. Not everybody steps into that octagon. Hopefully, you could get your rematch. But salute to the new champ. Merab,